welcome to the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. Today we're taking a look at the opposition because finally some things seem to be happening within the opposition camp. Will they finally manage to unite against the BJP in time for 2024 elections? Well, certain positive movements are happening. Of course, they still have to decide as to the platform, the issues, and of course, the face. Keeping the face in mind, a question here. Is it now time for Rahul Gandhi to declare that he is not in the race for the Prime Minister candidate? Already we have Kharge and other Congress leaders saying the Congress is ready. They don't want to appoint a face. They are ready to support any platform that will be anti-BJP, etc., etc. Rahul himself has also never stated that he wants to be the PM face. So should he now state the reverse on the record, and at least it will get him a lot of opposition allies? His disqualification has managed to unite all the opposition. In the meanwhile, we also have the specter of Arvind Kejriwal being targeted by the ED. The Congress immediate reaction was no reaction. They may react later in the day, but so far the Congress, it's about overnight since the summons, no reaction has happened. So is there still divisions, ego divisions? We have Sharad Pawar's strange statement, all the Adani issue. Can the opposition put aside these little differences? Because I had a very interesting chat with Abhishek Manu Singhvi recently, and he pointed out the differences within the opposition are not ideological, they are regional. So these regional differences basically means ticket sharing and who gets what, how many seats. Can these be overcome? Joining me on the show today is Javed Ansari. He's a political analyst. Ashutosh, he's the founding editor of satyahindi.com. Neerja Chaudhary, also political analyst, commentator. And Tehseem Poonawala, he's a Congress sympathizer. He's also a lawyer and, of course, someone who's very articulate at defending the Congress. Welcome to the show, Javed. First, I'll ask you because, you also have a lot of, conversations with a lot of opposition leaders. Where do you see opposition unity currently?
Well, it's in the realm of possibility now. Earlier, it was mere speculation. Now it's in the realm of possibility. It's not a done deal yet. It's still undercooked. A lot of spade work appears to be going on behind the scenes. As journalists, we usually make the mistake of writing off anything that doesn't happen before the campus, that doesn't happen in front of the campus. So there's been a flurry of activity earlier in the week. There have been contacts. As far as whether Rahul Gandhi should declare publicly, he's never said he's a claimant. So why should he say that he's not a claimant? These are things that are understood. Even at this meeting that was held between Kharge, Rahul Gandhi, Nitish, Tejasvi, and all that, this issue came up, but not directly. Dr. Manmohan Singh's name was nowhere. He was never projected as Prime Minister, yet he became. So there appears to be an understanding. You made a very valid point. Singhvi makes a very valid point. A lot of the problems are regional. They've been kicked aside by KCR.
So these are the regional differences that they will have to overcome to come together for a national understanding. Ashutosh, where do you see this happening? And my question on Rahul Gandhi, do you agree with Javed that is understood, or does explicit statement need to be made?
See, first of all, I think the rule for the opposition unity is very, very simple. It's not a politics of conviction, it's a politics of compulsion. Why I'm saying so? Because Rahul Gandhi might be saying, and others might be saying that there is ideological unity in the opposition camp. I hardly see any ideological unity in the opposition camp. They're fighting to save democracy. They are not fighting to save terrorism. They are not fighting to save constitutionalism. They are basically trying to save themselves from extinction. Because if they don't come together, then in 2024, if Modi comes back again and gets the same number of seats, then where will Akhilesh Yadav and Mamata Banerjee will survive? I do not know, frankly speaking. Either they'll end up in jail or the party is hijacked. It's the same thing has happened with the Shiv Sena. So it's basically a politics of compulsion. The point number two, I think when we talk about the opposition unity, sometimes we try to ignore few facts. The first thing is that half of the opposition unity is already in place. You look at Bihar, you look at Maharashtra, you look at Jharkhand, you look at Tripura, you look at other places. There is in Tamil Nadu, there is a very strong alliance despite the pressures from the government. In Jharkhand, there was a serious pressure that RJD, JMM and the Congress should split. It did not. In Maharashtra, again, the same thing. In Bihar, again, the same thing. So where is the problem? The problem is with the 4 states like West Bengal, UP, Telangana, and one more state, if you can say, it's Karnataka. It's Karnataka. So in UP, Congress has no role to play. It's the dominant role has to be played by Akhilesh Yadav. And in Bengal, it is Mamata Banerjee who has to play the strong role. In Karnataka, I agree that the Congress has to play a strong role. So if the alliance remains intact and strong in Bihar, in Maharashtra, and if a Congress could forge an alliance with JDS for 2024, which is a possibility, then BJP will be in trouble. There is no doubt about it. So those who are floating the idea that there's no opposition unity, I do not buy with that. About the Sharad Pawar, see, let's not forget, Sharad Pawar, there are so many different political parties because there are so many differences. If there are differences, that will be aired. That does not mean that Sharad Pawar is going to wreck the ship of opposition unity. We journalists, we political analysts can start our analysis with that hypothesis. But is it going to happen? Sharad Pawar, within 48 hours, he had taken a U-turn. He said if the opposition wants a JPC unit, JPC will do that. So that kind of, so we forget in 1989, when Jyoti Basu and Lal Krishna Advani can sit together and have a dinner and lunch and everything. And then VP Singh can come up and say that we'll have a friendly contest and I will not share platform with the BJP. Did it affect opposition unity? Did not. So these are the contradictions, fundamental contradictions of the opposition unity that will remain till the last day. And about Rahul Gandhi taking the lead, I think why the Congress should open its card now. Whether they want to lead the opposition unity, whether they want to throw a prime minister. I think, but what is understandable is that opposition is not going to throw anybody as the leader of the pack. That is for sure. Only they should come together, one-to-one fight, and see to it that if BJP can be defeated.
Nija, I was reading a column this morning on Sharad Pawar's various political gymnasts also. You know, he keeps saying, and not, he doesn't stick by a stand. But apart from Pawar, the opposition unity game plan. And do you see, you know, like Nitish Kumar is it here? Is he going to play the role of stitching the opposition together? I mean, Javed has been saying we need a Sutradhar. So is Nitish Kumar that Sutradhar?
I think several of them will have to be Sutradhars at various levels. But to answer your question first on opposition unity and Rahul Gandhi, whether he should, give up his claim, I feel he cannot give up his claim openly because he's also got to think of people who will vote for the Congress because of him.
Okay.
And if he says he's opting out, there's a whole lot of constituency there that's going to be very disappointed. And you might stand the risk of losing them. So therefore, it has to be indicated in a very nuanced, sophisticated way to opposition parties and not to the public. So I think, and probably they've already done that from all accounts. The Congress has already conveyed, I'm told, that get on with opposition unity. We will support you in every way, and we are not going to be the impediments in that whole process. And of course, Nitish Kumar has taken the initiative. I agree that they cannot announce a leader before the elections. And it is not even arithmetic that's going to determine who will be the leader after the elections, whether to be in a position to form a government. It will be the maximum possible acceptability of a leader. So all that is post-poll. Pre-poll, opposition unity, in fact, we've all talked about one-on-one contests in Lok Sabha constituencies, as many as possible, in order to prevent the opposition vote from fragmenting and a common fight to be put up against the BJP. Now, this will be done at the regional level. Actually, in effect, if you see, you don't need a common platform of Stalin to decide what Mamata and the left and the Congress are going to do in West Bengal. This is something Mamata and the left and the Congress will do. Willy-nilly do. And I agree, with Ashutosh when he says, survival and compulsion. That is a very strong driving force, stronger than ideology, idealism, or anything. So you will have these people today, CBI calling Kejriwal. They're all on the radar of the government. One by one, they are going to be picked up, maybe arrested, maybe jailed, so that looms large for them. It may not be an issue with the public, but it certainly is an issue with the opposition parties. So I think building opposition unity is a very attractive nara, a slogan. But in effect, that opposition unity will be anyway translated, given the situation we are in, state by state. The question is, in state elections, they may win. At the central level, national level, will people say, you know what a person in Delhi said when asked about whether there was sympathy for Sisodia when he was arrested? They said, look, bijli, health, education, all these things, yes, we look to Kejriwal's government. बड़े सवाल जो है ना, वो हम मोदी को देखते हैं. वो जो वैक्यूम है ना ऑपोजिशन की तरफ से nationally, you know, whether it's a vision that will attract people, you don't have a candidate. Therefore, how do you counter that challenge nationally? I think that is something that the opposition will have to address.
I agree with
you. So far.
Okay. Tehseen, you'll have to unmute yourself. And, I came to you last because I wanted you to hear all the arguments. And since you also have some inkling into what the Congress is thinking, my question on should Rahul Gandhi announce that he's not the PM face? And secondly, what everybody's spoken about opposition unity.
So let me start with opposition unity and what Nirja ended with. What is the face that you're giving versus and then come to Rahul ji. I agree with what Nirja said. And I told this to the tallest leaders in the Congress, the absolute tallest leaders. I want you guys to imagine two restaurants, okay, at lunchtime. One restaurant called BJP and one restaurant called Congress. Now, the BJP has a head chef, a star chef called Narendra Modi. It has a sous chef called Amit Shah ji. It has a sous chef called Nirmala Sitharaman ji. She's serving you the economy. It has a sous chef called Jai Shankar ji, serving you foreign affairs and G20. It has a sous chef called Ajit Doval ji, serving you internal security. You may agree or disagree with the dishes. You may like or dislike dishes, but you know what is there. On the other hand, you have another restaurant called Congress or this opposition unity. You don't know who's the head chef. You don't know what they're going to serve you. You don't even have a menu card. Is it a buffet or an a la carte? All this restaurant is saying is the restaurant in the BJP restaurant is bad. Now, I understand it's bad. I understand Nirmala Sitharaman's economy is terrible. It's a terrible dish that she served. Or Amit Shah ji's internal security or Ajit Doval ji's terrible. I understand that. But what are you serving me? I don't know. So how do I come to your restaurant and consume merely by you saying the other restaurant's bad? So first, I completely concede to what Nirja ji says. What are you serving the people of India? That's point number one. Having said that, in the space where you're coming to, look, no person from the Gandhi family has been prime minister for over 30 years now. That's not something that the Gandhi family has run behind or aspired. So the question of Rahul ji being prime ministerial candidate or not being prime minister candidate is irrelevant. The question is, what are the faces that you're putting up? What are the issues that you're putting up? And my fear is, being a Congress voter, being a Congress supporter, being a hardcore Congress loyalist, don't make this Modi versus anybody else. Because the minute you do that, you're playing on the strong point of the Honorable Prime Minister. Now today, just this morning, Loose Cannon has given an interview and it's become viral of an ex-governor. You see, those questions may be pertinent, but you have a Karnataka election. If you shift to those questions versus what is the anti-incumbency in Karnataka, which is local issues, regional issues, Karnataka, BJP corruption, and you make this about Modi ji being corrupt or national security, you're playing to his strong point. I'm not saying those are not relevant questions. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying you have to win politically and strategically. Use your strategy. The best horses for courses. It's come at a time where you can easily get distracted from Karnataka. Let me give you another example. And Priya, I've given you this example. Look at Himachal. In Himachal, Srimati Priyanka Gandhi, Vadra, Bhupesh Baghel, Rajiv Shukla, Sachin Pilot, and the local leadership led a fantastic campaign. They didn't get distracted. They didn't make personal attacks on the Prime Minister. They didn't raise personal issues. And on the issue of nationalism, Agniveer, on the issue of economy, the old pension scheme, you may agree, disagree. On the issue of local elections, local points, they defeated the BJP when the Prime Minister in Himachal said, don't even care about the candidate. Look at the lotus symbol and vote for me. This is my second home. And yet the Congress defeated the BJP in Himachal, a state with 95% Hindus, 65% upper caste. The Congress.
So state elections, they can be defeated. But
it doesn't matter. That's where I disagree with Nirja ji. It doesn't matter it's state or center. There is a growing need for the BJP to go. Look, 225,000 people gave up their passports. These are high net worth individuals. 125,000 people committed suicide. Unfortunately, these are the poorest of the poor. People are frustrated with the BJP. Except for a select few, the rest are frustrated. They don't see it out of fear, out of various reasons. But when I concede to Nirjaji, they don't see an alternative. That alternative must be given, but that alternative can't be trolling. That alternative can't be without intellect or gravitas. You can't be a troll. One last line. I always tell the Congress, and I was telling one of the big leaders yesterday at coffee, you are Nehru's party. Come with gravitas, come with a solution, come with options, and people will want you. Don't be a troll. So if you have that, without being confused on the issues, the Congress and the Congress-led opposition is very viable. Don't underestimate it. At the peak of his popularity, the NDA and the Honorable Prime Minister got just 30-odd% vote, 34, 35, 38% vote. There's still a majority that is anti the BJP. You can, but it's a game of arithmetic and a game of political acumen.
Okay. I'll just take a break and come back. And, one of the questions that's raised by Tehseen, should the Congress raise issues of Adani and what Satpal Malik has just said today in local elections, or should it hold on to them and, wait for the general elections, but then won't they die out? So what are the issues that the Congress should actually be raising after a quick break? Hello and welcome back to the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. Today we are discussing the opposition unity, face of the opposition, and Javed, the issues the opposition should be raising. Do you think the Satpal Malik revelations or the Adani issue should be raised in Karnataka or not?
Look, Adani issue, there is certainly no harm in raising the Adani issue. Where I see a problem with Pulwama is that the moment you do it, then you provide a platform to Mr. Modi and to the BJP and to their cheerleaders in the media to divert this debate. This will become about India and Pakistan, Hindu and Muslim. Earlier it was Mia Musharraf and things like that. Pakistan will come back into the issue. As it is, Karnataka is on a slow burn. It is a polarized state. Do not provide fodder, do not provide them firewood so that they can, ignite a bigger fire there. So you can talk of Adani if you want, link it to the fact that there's already huge corruption charges against Mr. Bomai's government. It's said to be a 40% government there. So you can link it to that. And certainly, like Tehseen says, there is merit. It's been, if you go back as recent as Himachal, they focused on local issues and they won. So focus on that. There's enough and more fodder ammunition that can be used against the BJP. The way they've run their government, the way they've had musical chairs as far as chief ministership is concerned. By all indications, it's been a highly corrupt government there. And so therefore, there's a lot. Administration has gone by the wayside. Governance has fallen by the wayside. So there is a lot that the Congress and the opposition can focus on. I largely agree with Nirjaji. Where I do not agree is the fact that, even if there isn't a unity that can be shown at the national level. It's important. Optics level is important. It's also important to answer that after Modi who? After Modi, the rest. That's what should be the answer. If Modi alone is not, he's not God's gift to India, there are enough wise men and women in this country who can take on the mantle. That could be the answer. When you have so many forces, so many political parties coming together, the optics also convey a message that 1,000 words cannot. The areas that I see the biggest problem is Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh, you will not have complete unity. Even if Akhilesh, RLD, Chandrasekhar and Congress come together, the biggest spanner in the works will be thrown by Mayawati. The only way that Mayawati will come to the opposition fold is, one, you declare her the prime ministerial candidate. She will contest the maximum number of seats in UP. She will contest seats in Madhya Pradesh. She will contest
But how
seats
much
in
will that?
Rajasthan.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you because we are running short of time, but I get the drift generally. Ashutosh, quick response to the question that Tessie might raise, the issues that should be raised in the state elections.
I have a slightly different take on this for the simple reason, because no battle is won if it is fought half-heartedly. You have to take battle to the enemy's turf. And Adani issue has really shaken the entire establishment. And this is, if Rahul Gandhi's members of the parliament is being sacked and the Arvind Kejriwal is served the CBI, I think this should be welcomed by the opposition, because this shows that there are vulnerable points. So Mr. Narendra Modi might not be a God's child, but he thinks that he's a destiny's child. The fact of the matter is he has given that perception. So unless you fight with Mr. Modi, how will you win the battle? You don't want to fight with Modi, but you want to win battle in 2024. There's a contradiction here. This will not work. This has never worked. So BJP's strongest point has to be attacked left, right, and center, and make him vulnerable, and let the question the doubt has to be created in the minds of the people. Point number two, then at the national level, the opposition has to give a semblance of unity, that we are united. Point number three, the strategy has to be evolved in at least 4 states. I'm just taking the example of Karnataka.
Neerja, the issues that should be raised in the local assembly elections first.
I think we have to separate the local issues, I mean the state versus the center. Local issues in the state assembly elections are much more effective. We saw that in Himachal Pradesh, where the Congress won. So also in Karnataka, we are seeing that, this 40% government has huge traction. Of course, use Adani as also an issue which reinforces that. But to make it only Adani as the sole issue would be a mistake, because there are other issues. The other thing is to link corruption to people's economic hardship. In UP too, this is what happened. People used to say, look, these people are lining their pockets with scam after scam coming out. And here am I having to pay more and more for my edible food and other things. So I think local issues, local leadership, local strategy, very, very important. As for center, if you were to ask me one thing that could change the picture, I would say if the Congress party was to get 100 seats into 2024, the game will change. We talk about the restoration of the autonomy of democratic institutions. Nothing will signal these institutions more than if Congress gets to that 100 mark. Now, how do you enable that? How do you enable the Congress to do it? How do you get the opposition parties to understand that for the Congress to do this, the wider battle can only be won if the Congress does that? And for Congress to act humble. Whether it is possible, I don't know. But to my mind, that is the most important thing for 2024.
Okay. There seemed the biggest hurdle that you see, or any solutions to overcome. One, of course, you said keep local narratives, at least for these state assembly elections. And did you answer my Rahul question? I'm not sure whether he should be the face or not.
I think that Javed ji answered very well. The 2004 formula. You will have a consensus that comes out, but you must be specific on your policies of what you're giving as an alternate vision. Your alternate vision cannot be Modi ji chor hai, it cannot be negative. It has to be positive. So it can't be a one-track attack, okay? Only the negatives. But people already know the negatives. That's why 225,000 people gave up their passports. Therefore, people are living in fear of ED, CBI. Therefore, so many of our fellow citizens commit suicide. What is your solution? That solution must be there. So you must show people the promised land. That is extremely important. But so that answers that question. But coming to the larger point that Neerja ji said, look, the Congress fights 160 seats versus the BJP. That's a direct fight between the Congress and the BJP. The answer is, how many of those 160 seats, which the Congress won 9 out of 160 last time, are they winning this time? That changes the math completely. Everything else is hearsay and is surround sound. 160 में आपका और बीजेपी का डायरेक्ट मुकाबला है. क्या आप उसमें से 80, 90, 100 सीट जीत रहे? खत्म. And to win those 80, 90, 100 seats, what is it that you can do? Now, that must be your focus, and that must be your strategy. Your combinations, your attacks, your policies. What is it? The BJP, to its advantage, has mixed a few issues together. It's mixed nationalism, socialism, and religion together in a deadly cocktail. And then it has the icing on the cake, Narendra Modi ji, who's a crowd puller. And there it seems to benefit in these 160 seats. What can the Congress do to counter that is the only answer. If the Congress and that fulcrum gets about 80, 90, 100, 110 seats, you suddenly have a fight on. If the Congress is reduced to 9, it's over. Now, I'm going to add one more point to it. And again, I was telling this very quickly to a Congress leader yesterday we were sitting with. Kerala, Punjab, Tamil Nadu. The Congress got its bulk of its seats in Lok Sabha 2019 from these states. Is the Congress going to repeat that performance or lose seats there? If it loses seats in these 3 states, is it gaining in these 160 seats? That is it. That's the match. There is no other match at all. Everything else is surround sound. That is the match. That's it.
Okay. On that note, I think we've come up with pretty interesting points.
Priya, just one last way. All that is there, but the opposition must also find an answer to the fact that on the first week of January, the Ram Mandir will be open for darshan, will be inaugurated. It will send its own kind of message. What is the answer to that big problem? How do they counter that? That will also be a huge factor.
Javed bhai, it will not work this time.
It will not work. The temple is already built.
I refuse. Sorry, Ashutosh ji. I disagree with humbly. It will not work if the Congress lets it be. आप देखना कोई कांग्रेस का लेफ्ट का नेता सेल्फ गोल मारेगा, गाली देगा, वो आप इसे रिकॉर्ड करना 2 जनवरी को वो statement ऐसे देंगे जिसको बीजेपी करेगी. If they let it be, it will. But the habit of these left leaders is left-leaning Congress leaders or 4-5. वो जाकर self goal मारते. They will call the news agency, give a bite and score a self goal. आप इसे note करना वो goal मारेंगे.
BJP in 2014 did not win because the Manishankar Iyer made a statement chai wala. It win because there was a terrible discredit of the Congress party. We will discuss this later. I think
2nd January, Priya, we will join you. और आप देखना एक self goal मारेंगे लोग. It's very difficult for them to keep they see a camera and they lose it and they talk like loose cannons.
Well, no conversation complete without Tehsim's dig at the left liberals who he feels are destroying the Congress.
And I'm a liberal.
And a liberal, but not a left, certainly. But one thing is, I agree with Javed, the Article 370, look at the way it was handled. Just after that, we had the Maharashtra election. Sharad Pawar just did not make it an issue. He just welcomed it. And Arvind Kejriwal in Delhi did not make 370 an issue. So if you do ignore these, these so-called polarizing events, then I think the country can look beyond religion and go on to, real issues that matter during elections. But we never know about the loose cannons from either side. So thank you for this conversation and see you all again same time next week.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.